Look at that. Channel's not dead. This is a video that was requested by some friends of mine who don't go to cons or haven't been to very many. So who am I to deny their requests? This guide will hopefully be a comprehensive plan that will include the biggest areas to know about with enough detail to not feel lacking. So hopefully this video will help you feel confident about going to your first con, and hopefully I won't have disappointed my friends. So before you go to a con, you gotta decide on which one you're going to. If you have a group of friends who are inviting you to go to a con, then this step is basically covered already. Of course, it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of research, but that's up to you if you just want to send it and trust in your friends' plan, or not. For everyone else, conventions generally have three primary categories they fit into, those being comics, gaming, and anime. Conventions usually cross-pollinate between these three groups, but one is usually the primary group. You can sometimes tell by the helpful vocabulary in their names, for example, San Diego Comic Con, Gamescom, and Anime Expo. This is partially being said in jest, but most cons will have identifying words in their name or slogan, so you can find one that hits more of your specific niche you're looking for. You also need to consider location. So how far are you willing to go? Are you willing to drive multiple hours or fly, or does it have to be in your local city in a short drive? The state I'll use for an example is Florida, as that is the state that I am most familiar with cons. And most cons throughout the year, or a majority of cons throughout the year, are usually hosted in major cities, so that would be Orlando, Tampa, or Miami. And then other cities throughout the state obviously have their own cons. The main hubs are those three major cities, which is probably the case in most states, is that the major cities will have the most cons. This also brings size into consideration, with cons varying from smaller one-day cons to massive four-day cons. You don't have to go every day, I prefer to personally, but it usually costs more to go to larger cons, as well as when you're purchasing a pass or a ticket for a con. They usually are more expensive the closer you get, and usually are the most expensive day of. So if you have a con in mind, or some friends are planning to go to one that's 6 months away and they're selling tickets, you will save a little bit of money. Larger cons will generally have more things to do. They usually have more programming or events or guests or artists, and overall just more people will be there. They'll also draw larger crowds, and that can be a problem depending on the venue. If you have a venue that maybe struggles with congestion, that will be amplified by larger cons. Keep that in mind, that's something you're concerned about. Now that we have a con picked out, we need to make some preparation to make sure it's a good weekend. The most important being travel and accommodations. If this con is in a city you're local to or within a short drive, then you're good to go for that. If not, you'll need to find a place to stay, whether that be a hotel or a friend in a local area, or you want to try and group with random people for a con, because a lot of cons will have Discords or Facebook groups available, and if you want to try your luck that way, more power to you. I've not done that, but I know of people who have. Of course, rooming with a friend at a hotel or multiple people at a hotel is also another good way to save money. If you are going solo and you don't have a friend you can room with, most, if not all, medium to large size cons will have partnered hotels that are basically hotels that are nearby to the venue, usually within walking distance or shuttle distance, that will have a discounted rate for the con weekend. Those hotels do usually sell out first in the local area because they are the ones that are tied to the con, so people will see those first as options if they are not local to the area. But sometimes you can get a little lucky with a non-partnered hotel that's still nearby, whether that be a shuttle or short drive or walking distance that isn't partnered. That still is a competitive price. For travel at a con, at least in the US, or at least in Florida, if you don't have a car or a friend who has a car, you're Ubering or you're walking. It's the night before the con and everything is quiet in the hotel and you're thinking about what you need to bring. What do you bring? That depends on you and how much you want to bring with you. For me, I'll bring my phone and my wallet and my keys if it is a local con that I can drive to. And that's it. This works for me because I don't want to bring stuff with me or wear a bag all day. As you may be able to see from my previous videos, I do cosplay, so if it doesn't fit into the cosplay, I usually try to avoid, like if a cosplay doesn't have a bag as part of its fit, I will usually avoid bringing one. Also, I can get away with that because I usually don't need anything extra, or I'm with friends who have all the extra stuff, so I can always bum something off of them if I need to. Things my friends and other people at cons have will bring things like mint or gum, chapstick, lipstick, eye makeup, eye drops, snacks, Advil or ibuprofen of some kind, safety pins, hand sanitizer, super glue, antiperspirants or deodorants, bobby pins, fashion tape. You get the idea. It can be a lot of things. Of course, not all of these things are required to bring, so bring whatever you feel is necessary for you to enjoy the con. If you do decide to go and cosplay, hell yeah, shout out, good for you. It's super fun. I recommend it to everybody. On the other side of that, sometimes cosplays are not the most comfortable things to wear after an extended period of time. I can tell you what, even though I think it's cool that I have a pair of, 3 or 3.5 inch whatever boots that I have specifically for one cosplay at the moment. It's not like I practice wearing big ass heels all the time, but if you are going to be someone who wants to commit to wearing shoes that may not be the most comfortable thing in the world, bringing a spare change of clothes or at least spare shoes to switch into if you plan to be there for a long time can be extremely helpful. Of course, like previously stated, I don't do that because I just don't want to bring anything extra that I don't need. I know plenty of people who bring extra stuff, whether that be different shoes or outfit to change into. Don't feel like you have to stay in the cosplay that you're wearing 100% accurately if you're not comfortable. Yippee! You're at the con, and now it's time to go enjoy it. So go and see the panels or events you're interested in. Walk through the RS Alley and Vendor Hall, talk to the cosplay guests or just the voice actor guests. Spend money on overpriced con food or whatever else the con has that you're interested in. Whether that be the tournament, the video game tournaments, or Maid Cafe as well, or different events, like some will do like a ball, or like a play of some kind, or like a masquerade or whatever. So do whatever is interesting to you, because that's the most important part, is to have fun. Of course, we do, unfortunately, in the year of our Lord 2026, we still need to talk about con etiquette. First thing, most important thing, personal hygiene. If you're someone who sweats easily, bring some extra deodorant or some sort of antiperspirant with you, and shower the morning, the night, the morning of or the night before, or both, and brush your teeth. I know it's a little crazy, but it still needs to be said. Everyone will appreciate it everywhere, so just do that. In my experience, it's not been that big of an issue, at least out of cons that I've been to. My experiences have been pleasant, but every once in a while, you'll notice someone that is lacking in this area. So just brush your teeth, please. If you see someone like in a cool cosplay, say something. Most cosplayers, including myself, love when someone comments their cosplay of the character we're cosplaying, and basically every single cosplayer I've ever run into has enthusiastically basically said yes whenever I've asked for a picture with them, or talked to them about their cosplay or a prop of some kind, or anything in that kind of regard. Of course, if you're wanting to talk to someone, if they're in the middle of a conversation or if they're busy eating, it's going to be more polite to let them finish whatever they're talking about, or let them finish eating before you go and talk to them. If you do want to get someone's attention at a con, don't be touching people. We don't do that. You don't need to tap somebody's shoulder to say hello if you're behind them. Just say, excuse me, if you're nearby. Most people will respond whenever someone is trying to get their attention, and you don't need to touch them to do that. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people don't like being touched in public by a stranger, even if you are all there for the same general excitement of topic. At the end of the day, just be kind, be appropriate, and treat others with respect. It's very easy to do so. If you do see some tomfoolery afoot, let the con staff know, as they usually will be walking around, or some actual security if you see some actual stuff going down. If you're looking for just con staff in general, there's usually a booth for them set up somewhere in the artist alley or vendor hall. But yeah, the most rewarding part, from my opinion, of cons is the people you meet. The core group of friends that I have met through cons are incredible, and I'm very fortunate and thankful to know them and be able to be friends with them and just interact with them in my life. And I want everyone who goes to a con to be able to have the same experience that I have had, because they're incredible company, and I want everyone to be able to have good friends to be able to experience fun things with. That's hopefully a solid and quick overview of things to know for your first con and how to have If you looked at my previous videos that are related to cosplay, it's been con vlogs. It's not really my thing. I don't like doing it that much. So maybe there's a way to just do con experience things differently that I'll look to do. But just doing like a whole vlog is not, I feel real awkward vlogging. So for cosplay related content, we'll look at potentially doing some different stuff. I'll figure something out. But if you have suggestions to what you'd like to see, or have other tips for first time con goers, leave a comment below. And while you're down there, like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Tune in next time when I talk about a free trial that maybe you've heard of before.